All right, guys, part two of this educational series on using HTML and JavaScript. We're going to dive right into our first quest, our first project in class, and that is that rock, paper, scissors that we created here. There are some basic requirements in this assignment. The first one is do not forget to write out your algorithm, right? And that is pseudocode, right? So pseudo code goes here in the comments. Now, a multi-line comment in JavaScript is your forward slash and your star, and then it closes with a star and a forward slash. Now I can write out the steps, like for example, user picks rock, paper, scissors. Computer randomly picks rock, paper, or scissors. And then 3, computer evaluates who won. Always be thinking about these things in terms of input, processing, and output. I want your algorithm here, your pseudocode, to reflect a little more detail around that, but what we're going to do now is we're going to code it in JavaScript. And so user picking rock, paper, scissors is really an input, right? And so we need to gather that information from the user. There's a number of different ways to do that, but if we just do let user choice or let user equal prompt, and that's going to come up with an annoying pop-up box that will ask the user for input, but it's functional for now. And we'll say pick rock, paper, or scissors. And immediately as we get going, you should comment as you go. We're going to have the user type in rock, paper, or scissors. Another thing you always want to think about in this class, because we talk about it, is how does the user get that information in there. In this case, they're typing it. You could also write it so that they click on a button. So human-computer interaction is always a consideration. But we probably want to test this now. So if we open up index, right-click up here, say reveal in Explorer, double-click that guy. It says hello world, and then it prompts us for rock, paper, scissors, right? And does absolutely nothing. There's a test image there, but we don't really care about that right now because that's just coming from this. In fact, it might behoove us just to get rid of that, but we'll worry about it later. So now that we've bound the user's choice to user, we need to get something from the computer, and so there's a number of different ways to go about this. So we're going to let the choices equal an array of options, including rock, paper, and scissors. Now, this array can be accessed a number of different ways. And one good practice is to console log things to see what happened. So if I console log, for example, the user chose space and then concatenate the user's choice, which is of course bound to the user there as a keyword. So then we can console log choices, or just as a practice, we can console log the first choice. So I'm going to console log choices, and then in the array I'm going to access the first element in the array, which is 0. And now let's have a look at what we have. So we refresh, hello world, pick rock, and of course nothing happens because it's all hiding here in the console. Failed to load resource, and that would be that Firefox icon. If you don't want to see that error anymore, we can comment it out. User chose rock. We selected rock from the array. So that's interesting. So what we now need is a random option, right? So let random equal math dot random, which is going to give us a number between 0 and 1. So instead, we could multiply it by 3, which is going to give us a number of different options. So if we console log, and let's just move this down here below that. And if we console.log random, we'll see what random gives us. Pick rock or paper scissors, we do that. Random gives us this. And again, I'm going to comment that out just to get rid of it. But so I'm going to go ahead and comment that line out. So the body really has nothing in it now. Refresh this one more time. Hello world. We pick rock. The user chose rock. We are accessing that first element in the array. And there you go. So for the next video, what I want us to think about is if we have choices in this array, which is 0, 1, 2, and we have math.random times 3, how are we going to get it so that it picks one of these things? Well, we need an integer in here, so we need a math operator that will get rid of the decimals, and we'll cover that in the next video.